Hi, I'm Dr. Srijan Kumar, the CEO of Lighthouz AI. Today, I'm excited to present to you how Lighthouse's proprietary AI system does freight invoice auditing. Here, I have a proof of delivery and invoice that has been submitted by a carrier to a factor, and I'm going to show how our AI system will process that. So, this is a document where you have an invoice. It mentions the freight as well as lumper. There are multiple, let's first look at the rate confirmation for clarity. And there's a pretty complex rate confirmation. You have multiple pickup locations, so 1, 2, and 3. You have multiple drop-off locations as well, specifically 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 3 pickup locations, 5 drop-off locations. There is a total charge, which is just the base freight rate. There is no lumper fees already included in it. Now let's go back to the top. So we had the invoice, which has the base plus lumper. So ideally there should be a lumper receipt present. We have multiple bill of ladings. There is a shortage note on it. It's signed. You have other bill of ladings as well. This one is stamped instead of being signed. You have another bill of lading which is not signed. Yet another bill of lading which doesn't have any note and a signature. This is a receipt note. Then we have a lumper receipt and the payment is 160 and the amount is 160. All right, let's look at how Lighthouse's AI system is going to do the document auditing. So we give it the document and then it's going to extract out, it's going to look at each page of the document and classify what type of page, what type of document or what type of page the document represents. So if you keep an eye on the bottom right corner over here, it says page 1 is other, which means it's not relevant to the auditing process, which is correct. Page 2 is an invoice. Page 3 is a bill of lading, which is right. Page 4, yet another bill of lading, and it will continue. So let me tell you behind the scenes what's happening. So our AI system is literally looking at this document just like you and I would do as humans and trying to classify each of these as a particular document type. In some cases, it's easy because it's written on top. But in many cases, for example, like this lumper receipt, it's pretty difficult because it doesn't really say it's a lumper receipt. So the AI system has to do that inference. This is page 9, so let's keep an eye out. And it correctly says that 9 is a receipt, a lumper receipt to be specific. 10 is a rate confirmation, which is right. Pretty easy because this page says it's a rate conf. But if you look at page 11, it doesn't really say it's a rate confirmation anywhere, but our AI system correctly says that it's a rate conf. And so on, right? So it does the identification breakdown of each of these pages correctly. So what it has done is it has taken this big document and then broken down each of it has broken down the big document into these smaller, what we call sub-documents. So it says that there's a rate conf, which is 5 pages long. So it has created a 5-page version of the rate conf. There's an invoice. There are 5 bill of ladings. There's a delivery report, and there's a lumper receipt as well. So this is the first step that's completed. Next, what it does is it literally looks at each of these documents, and our AI system literally looks at each of these documents and extracts out all the information that it can from it. So for example, from this bill of lading document, our AI system has extracted out the line items, the handwritten note, which says short 1 pallet con yellow crate. And as you can see, it says short 1 pallet con yellow crate. There's a signature which it has correctly identified. There's no stamp. In some of these cases, there are stamps, and I'll show you an example of that. It has extracted out the shipper, the destination, fields, everything. Right? So it's extracted out everything that it can. Let's look at page 3, which, if I recall correctly, has a stamp. So in this case, our AI system says that there is a signature here which is illegible to it, but there is a stamp and it has correctly extracted out all the information from the stamp. And as you can see, so let me zoom in, it says Demare Fresh DFW received. It has extracted out all the information from it. There's no damage as well over here. So the AI system does that for each of these documents. If you want to take a look at the invoice, if I find it. Okay, so there's the invoice. So it correctly identifies all the line items that are present in the invoice as well. As the base freight rate, which is 2,800. So let me show it over here very quickly. Base freight rate, which is 2,800, and it has the lumper fees, fifth drop, which is $160, right? This is step 2. So it extracts out information from all the individual documents, right? As you can see. Next step, and the final and the most important step, is doing the audit itself. And our AI system that we have created does a 26-point audit, and we are adding more audit steps to it, audit checks to it. So our AI system, first of all, checks whether all the necessary documents are present, which means rate confirmations, invoice, and if an invoice says lumper, then a lumper, bill of ladings. Then it looks at the invoice and says whether the invoice amount is correct, whether the invoice matches the rate confirmation. Then it looks at uh, each of the bill of ladings and checks whether it is signed, whether it has any damage, shortage, or other notes. In this case, it says that every bill of lading is signed, but one of the bill of ladings has a shortage note. It checks whether the invoice actually matches the rate confirmation, which it does because it's on the green over here. And then it checks whether there is whether all BOLs match the rate conf as well. So this is how our AI system does the full audit of the document in a seamless and easy to use manner. The beauty is that it happens asynchronously, which means you don't really have to do the upload and then wait for it to happen. It will just automatically happen behind the scenes. You don't even have to touch it. And finally, whenever there are these discrepancies that are identified, the AI system can be configured to reach out to the carrier again automatically and get the thing corrected. For example, if it's illegible, it would say that, hey, please upload a legible version. This was a quick demo of how our AI system does processing of the invoices.